Hello and welcome back to the Mid-Am Podcast. It has been a minute, but we are back, and we're going to do a little bit of a holiday special. Like I said, it's been a little bit since you've heard from us, but it's the holidays, folks. It's time to be spending time with your friends and your family and celebrating each other and buying gifts and stuff. Speaking of gifts, like to shout out the sponsor, the title sponsor of the Mid-Am Podcast, who's truly just a gift to us, Adele.
Hello.
Oh, it's very quiet.
It was quiet.
That's okay. It's a subdued episode.
Yeah.
We're just easing back into it. Adele's just continues to be a fantastic partner. We've been singing their praises for their products for quite some time, and dude, I'm grooving. I'm putting one of those player wear marks into the old 58 degree wedge, so I'm going to be probably looking into getting a new one. And I probably should order one right now because I believe at the time of recording they are still $139 for a built wedge, which is crazy good deal.
Ridiculous.
Be sure to check out everything that they have to offer at edelgolf.com. That's EDELGOLF.com. Thank you again to the team at Adele for sponsoring the Mid-Am Podcast. All right. Before we jump into the topics du jour, we finalized our birdie-a-thon. We've been talking about it. Admittedly, didn't get a ton of traction.
Here and there.
we had 3 participants. 2 of them are on this call right now.
That's right.
And then our boy Keith Stone. Is his last name actually Stone?
I think so.
That's sick.
Sure.
Keith Stone, like Keith Stone. Keith Stone Light jumped in.
He's the man. Keith Stone Light.
Keith Stone Light. He did. He jumped in and was one of the 3 amigos, was one of the 3 musketeers for the kids. But Nathan and I will say we went out and got the birdies. So we did our part.
That's right.
We also donated grand total as it stands right now, $495. And if you recall, if you've been listening for a while, our goal was $1,000. So we are going to be working on figuring out some stuff to put together, some things like raffle off or this, that, and the other to try to bridge the gap there. That's all to benefit Oregon Junior Golf. Next year, jumping ahead, I would like to make our charity the Evans Scholar.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about potentially we find a way to do it more like a traditional a-thon where people could like sign up, get their own pledges.
Do their own,
whatever,
I like that.
And track their own birdies.
There's a lot of pressure for us to have to go out and get all those birdies, you know?
I know. And you did
takes the fun out of the game.
Some heavy lifting, but then next year, because of the nature of what we're doing for golf, it'll be harder.
Yeah. Birdies are going to be harder to come by for sure.
So we can get more people invested if they're also trying to make the birdies.
That's right. So watch this space.
That's right.
More to come. All right. So it's the holidays. Happy holidays, by the way, dude.
Thank you. Happy holidays to you.
Are you done Christmas shopping? Have you done?
No.
No.
But I have begun at least.
That's good.
So
I mean, we still got time. I mean, it's only the 8th. Oh my God, it's only the 8th.
I don't have a lot to do.
There
anyway, you go. So we're good.
Just about done. I can say this because my wife doesn't listen to this podcast, but she
mine doesn't listen to mine either.
She wanted something. I'm not going to say it specifically. She's in the other room. She could potentially hear me, but she wants something specific. I found one that was in Seattle. I was prepared to drive up to Seattle under the guise of, hey, I'm going to go play Chambers.
Mm-hmm.
I was actually going to go try to play Chambers too, just because I was like going to drive 3.5 hours up there.
If you're there.
Yeah, but it was like rain. It was like pissing rain, and it wasn't, it was just going to be like such a slog. And so like the night before, I was like, dude, I really don't want to drive up to Seattle tomorrow morning. Wake up at 4:30 in the morning so I can get there by 7:30 before this lady had to leave for work.
Oh, yuck.
Yeah. And so I just like on a whim checked Facebook Marketplace, and there was one that was even better than what I was looking for, what we wanted. it ended up being like just nominally $25 cheaper, not including like,
The drive-through.
time and
Yeah.
stuff. And it was in Aloha, which is
Oh,
Hillsborough.
perfect. Yeah.
So I booked a tea time
So
at
you
the
played the reserve instead.
yeah, just went
Yeah.
out and played the reserve, and yeah, it worked out really well. So I'm stoked on it. It's cool. It's a good gift. Tough thing for us though is that our anniversary is 4 days before Christmas.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
then this year's the leather anniversary, like
Oh,
handbags.
yeah. You
Those
haven't
are
talked to
those.
me at all.
Well, yeah. I don't.
Oh, you
She's
know who you should talk to? Our boy Keith Stone Light.
oh shit. You're right. Well, I already
Yeah, no,
ponied up and got
fair enough.
the designer.
Sure.
Yeah. Anyway, um, cool. Well, but that's enough talk about gifts and consumerism, dude. It's just ugh,
Yeah, man.
it's gross.
Yeah,
It just
man.
feels gross, man.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so now I got to walk that back because now this segment is what are
Uh,
you? But it's not.
I interpreted this in a way
It's
that
not
we could
material.
we
It's
can
not.
stand by it. It's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
material.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah.
material. It's not material.
Well, yes and
Well,
no.
yeah. I mean, it's
Yes and no.
the nature of it's not necessarily material.
Let's
Okay,
just get into it. Let's just get
what are you asking Santa for Christmas in
Yes.
regards to
Golf.
golf, your game, however you interpreted it? But like, what are you specifically asking for Santa?
Yeah. On the clubs front, I feel like I'm so set right now. I have
Pretty dialed,
so
man.
I'm pretty yeah, like things are feeling good. That doesn't mean I don't want more. But I don't really
Of course.
need to, I can't nothing's really
Just
jumping to mind
I mean, shit, man.
exactly.
I texted you about
You
the new ping drivers like a week ago. I was like, oh
I
my
know.
god.
I know. Um, so I went for more, intangibles, we'll
Okay.
say, and I just said more golf lessons. Like I wanna be more. I just want to keep working with, TJ and consistently. So It's nice to have just like a few more of those lined up. That'd be kind of cool. Um, I mean, yeah, as far as like gear and stuff, it's tough to really. My rangefinder is pretty ghetto, but it works. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Sometimes I kind of want to replace that, but it is what it is. Like I said, where it's not really like we need anything. We're keeping it more intangible. So I'd be asking for more lessons, for sure. That's kind of
Okay.
my main thing, I guess. What about you?
So for me, I put down three things. They're very much intangibles.
Yeah.
So number one thing I want from Santa is confidence in short game. Like I
Mm,
want to feel confident over a chip shot.
yeah.
I don't know what that feels like, or I very rarely know what that feels like.
Sure.
So, and I'm putting the work in. I'm doing a
Yeah.
ton of work, so I think I'm on the right track. But like, man, I would just love to like, if when I inevitably miss a green, it's like, oh, yeah, no big deal. Just go get up and down. And it's not like, oh, well, there's a bogey at least.
Yeah.
So there's that. Number two, I want a bowed wrist or a wrist flexion, lead wrist flexion at impact,
Oh.
or at least the feel of that. So I still, at the end of the day, while I've definitely improved this year and I'm playing a lot better golf, I'm hitting the ball better than I ever have. Like at the end of the day, I'm still like body stalling out, flipping, and that's not a rate of closure thing. You posted,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
something
No. Yeah.
about that you can flip without closing the club face, or like having
What?
like a very high rate of closure.
Yeah.
And I don't have a high rate of closure. I just flip to square with my wrists because I just stall out, and so I just like that's something that is too dependent on timing. Um, it introduces too much loft at impact, and it's hard to control. Ball flight. It's hard to control distances. It's hard to control strike. It's hard to be.
Mm.
as consistent as we want to be, which is, you know, you can't be like consistency in golf is kind of a fallacy. It's a myth, but you know, there's certain things you can do to kind of tighten those margin of errors. And so I really need to do that. Like if I want to, like beyond what I'm already doing, like I'm putting the work in on the greens, I'm putting the work in around the greens, like I'm doing that.
Yeah.
But like beyond that, it's because my ball striking misses, where I run into issues is the catastrophic like miss. And that's where it's like you almost miss the ball and skinny it into the lake in front of you, or you hit 6 inches behind the ball into the lake in front of you, you know, like
Yeah.
it's stuff like that. Or
Stop playing courses
conversely,
with water.
yeah, that's the solution. Just go play Sheep Ranch.
Yeah.
Go live in Bandon, play Sheep Ranch.
That's right.
No, I think like the big thing is, um, it's more about just, yeah, like taking away that catastrophic miss that creates the big numbers, but then also like I want to get to that point because my third one here, I'll jump ahead, is I want an under par round. Like
Yeah.
I want to
Sure.
shoot under par next year, man, so badly. And so like part of that is like, dude, you got to go get birdies, man. You need at least one birdie to shoot under par, right?
Right.
And
Sure.
so,
One. Yeah.
you know, it's like, hey, realistically, let's say if we're looking at a, you know, 6,800 yard golf course, I should have anywhere from at a minimum 4 decent birdie opportunities where like my approach shot is going to be under 100 yards. And if it's just the par fives, but realistically, you know, if you have any par fours that are like under 380 yards, which they're bound to be one or two, like I would like to be able to like feel like I can go after those like 4 to 8 birdie opportunities around, with like some level of aggression. Like I'm inside 100 yards. Like I want to try to flag a wedge. And that requires some pretty solid mechanics and confidence. So, um, I'm working on like some swings change stuff, but it's very small. It's like these little 9 to 3, hip to hip, little punchy things. So those are the 3 things that I want from Santa for Christmas.
He wants compression for
Compression
Christmas. Yeah.
that will lead to an under par round because
Yeah.
I'm putting the work in, chipping and putting, and I will get better
Yeah.
because I'm doing the work. So
Cool. Well, I did think of one other
do it.
thing.
Come on back.
A mini driver. So I was wrong about the clubs. I got to walk back the club statement.
Yeah, I want
But
to. Okay.
yep. No, I think I want to,
Never seen you hit your
tinker around
3
with a little mini driver. It's because I don't have a 3. I have a 5 wood, which I still don't hit that either.
So yeah, okay. So I didn't like. That's like I haven't even seen you hit that. So I didn't even know it was a vibe.
Yeah, it's not really a useful club to me at this point in time with the courses that I'm playing and the way that I hit
your
it.
hybrid. Like I can't
I
imagine
hit it
there's
like
a ton of difference between that and your hybrid.
no, I mean, mm, there can be. It depends. I mean, I hit it pretty good off the tee. When I was in Bend, I hit it a lot off the tee
Mm.
at like Tethero and Brasada, and I hit it great. It was like 260, 270 a lot of the time. But I feel like a mini driver would serve me better in that instance. And if I'm going to hit it just as good, but it'll be a little bit further.
Yep.
But I don't ever use it like coming into par fives hardly. So there's no reason for me to have it.
I have a mini driver coming. Yeah. I had the same revelation just about my 3 wood. I was like, I don't like to hit it off the tee because it's like less accurate than my driver. And I don't go after a par 5 if I have to take more than a 5 wood.
Sure.
For
Yeah.
the most part, because
I mean, yeah,
I feel like I can hit the 5 wood on a string, and then the 3 wood, I just don't really know. And so I was like, well, but I do routinely find myself needing less than driver off the tee, but the 5 wood just like can't really go. You know, it's like if I need a good like 250 shot, like I can't really do that with the 5 wood consistently. So anyway,
I've also thought about like maybe not mini driver. Maybe just go the old Phil Mickelson 2-driver setup.
Yeah, there you go.
Might just have like a 43-inch driver that's like a 10.5 or 11-degree loft or something, and something
That's
smoothy,
kind of the
little
goofy
fairway
part of
finder.
that's the kind of the goofy part of the bag
Yeah,
though, that you can do those things with, it's just like,
right.
like you're
Doesn't matter. Like
it's like it's a utility player, man. You come in and do your job, you come in, get your 5 fouls and get out of there.
exactly.
That's what
Designated
that
hitter.
is. Yeah, that's right. The
So
enforcer.
that's right.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that'd be
So
a good nickname for it.
Santa can give me that. Santa can give me that.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Um, well, speaking of gifts, not that we haven't been speaking about anything other than gifts for like the last 15 minutes, but uh, this holiday season, give the gift of data, give the gift of fun with Rapsodo. I'd like to shout out Rapsodo, other sponsor of the Mid Am podcast, the maker of the Rapsodo MLM and the MLM2 Pro mobile launch monitors, personal launch monitors. They are wicked fun. We've both been messing around with the MLM2 Pro for the last few months, and we both just love it. The unit for the the ability to allow us to have very productive practice with good data. The simulator modes are super super fun for you, for your kids, for people who don't even like necessarily even play golf all that much. It's like bringing Top Golf into your house. They just recently updated the graphics on all of the range and the courses. It looks amazing. And they recently added, and I don't know why they did this because it's such a terrible ball, but they recently added the Titleist Pro V1 to their lineup of simulator golf balls. So they have their proprietary marking system so that it can measure spin better, get more accurate spin, get more accurate carry. It makes it a more accurate setup. And considering a lot of people play the Pro V1, chances are it's going to allow you to use the unit with the ball that you actually play on the course, like I do, and I know Nathan does. So, and
It's a piece
they
of crap.
I mean, even though it's a
I
bullshit
hate
ball,
it.
yeah,
I still play it. I
yeah.
hate it, but I still play it.
And I know they're working on Pro V1X next. So be sure to check out everything that the Rapsodo team has to offer. You can find them at rapsodogolf.com. Links will be in the show notes and in the bio of our Instagram account at Midian Podcast. So thank you again, Rapsodo.
Yes. And are they still doing their like one-time lifetime payment
Yeah.
thing? Their premium
Yeah.
membership right
So
now?
yeah, you can, cause their pro membership, which is, if you want all
All the metrics,
all the
bells and
metrics, all
whistles,
the and all the modes, you do need a pro membership. And that is, I think that runs you
180 maybe?
$200 a
200?
year.
Something like that.
But you can buy a lifetime membership for, I believe, $400. I think it's $399, which is a heck of a deal. It literally pays for itself in like essentially like
Couple
anything
years.
over 2
Yeah.
years.
Don't
So
quote us on the numbers, but look it up. It's a
yeah,
screaming
it's
deal.
something like that. It's a very good deal. It's going to pay for itself, well within the lifetime of the product, because the product, they're constantly adding firmware updates and all this stuff. So that's a cool fun thing about that. So
Absolutely.
yeah, be sure to check that out. All right, next up. We've talked about receiving gifts, but hey, you know what? The holiday season is about giving gifts. So, Nathan,
Mm-hmm.
if I had the opportunity to give you a gift around the game of golf,
Aha.
I would give you. Are you familiar with the Harry Potter franchise, books and or movies?
No.
You're not at all.
No, I am.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just going to quit.
I call my putter the Elder Wand.
Oh, shit. Oops. That's right. Maybe I don't know Harry Potter as well. Okay, so I would give you a time turner that you can only use on drives. Because I feel like if you could take back like 2 squirrely drives around, you'd be like a +2.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be there. Or I'd be closer to there. Yeah.
Like you'd only have to use it like twice
Yeah.
around, and I think you'd be firing like 67 to 72 most of the time.
Yeah. Probably something. It would
And
save
just
me at
knowing that
least 4 to 5 strokes around.
and just knowing that it's there, you might not even have to use it.
Yeah. Fair.
Boom.
That's
So
that's
what I
a
would give
wonderful
you.
gift.
I would give you the time turner that Hermione had in Prisoners of Azkaban.
Well, that's a wildly thoughtful and cool gift and a neat way to approach this. I was not that thoughtful.
It's okay. I mean, I was like thoughtful, but it's also a backhanded comp. It's like a
Yeah,
kind
no,
of
I
an,
know.
it's like an underhanded insult.
I don't think there's any way to do this with like we were
Right.
talking about what to do, and it's like, what about what gift would we give each other? And it's
Yeah.
like, here's what you suck at.
Hey, you're
It's-
terrible at this, dude. So
I
this is
know.
what I would do to try to fix
Yeah.
it.
So bearing that in mind, I had a lot of different options I could.
Sure, right. You sure did.
I would give you a much shorter memory.
I like that.
Yeah, you could be okay. So here, I'll put a twist on it. I would give you the memory of Dory from Finding Nemo.
Okay, I like
And
that.
you could just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming.
Yeah.
That's good. You're taking something away from me. I like that.
Yeah. But it would be
a gift.
It would be a gift. And I think if you were able to forget the previous shot,
Yeah.
A couple times around and just move on to the next and reset and just like and genuinely do it, not just like in the sense of like, okay, I know I'm supposed to reset now, so I'm going to try and take a couple deep breaths and pretend like I'm calmed down and make a smart decision, but I'm still actually, a duck on water.
Right.
And there's a lot happening. Yeah, if you could do that again, like I feel like you would be a plus handicap.
So we just need to be able to travel in time, and I need to have a traumatic brain injury, and we're both going to be so good at golf.
So good. So good. Totally doable.
One of them is for sure. I could take care of that tonight.
Well,
I could do it on camera. I think I have an ice pick in here for some reason. I can just do myself a lobotomy.
That's like TikTok fodder. That's not.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. No, those are good gifts.
Those are good gifts.
Actually, I thought those were clever.
Yeah.
Those were both clever.
They weren't too mean.
We did well with that segment.
That should be a poll, though. We should be like, what would you give your buddy?
Oh, I like that.
See how savage it gets, because that could get pretty ruthless, but also really funny.
Clip it.
Okay.
Producer, clip it.
Yep.
Producer Pat, I don't know. We got to come up with a fake producer to call out like those guys
like
too.
Kissing Scratch.
Yeah.
Those
guys.
Guys.
That
we should just tell them.
Preemptively copied what we were doing.
Yeah, exactly. We should Mike.
Hey, Mike. Oh, we could just have their producer do it.
We'll just have Mike do it.
No. That's it. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna have Mike do it. Hey, Mike, clip that. Just go ahead and put it in the Dropbox, please.
Yeah.
Okay, final segment. So now we're past the holiday season, past the gift giving. We've thrown away all the wrapping paper, right? We're moving on. It's new year. It's new you. Okay. Talking kind of resolution adjacent. What are you going to leave with behind in 2024?
Yeah, let's see. I think we'll say this too. Like, it has to be something that you like legitimately have already kind of left behind. It's like, okay, I learned this in 2024, and I'm gonna continue to leave that in my past.
Right.
So I think in the last couple months, I've really settled into figuring out what it feels like to play golf versus play golf swing, as they say.
Yeah.
And it has felt really good. And the couple times, like the last 3-4 times I've played, even with like weeks in between not touching a club, I've gone out and shot like 74, 75.
Right.
Like felt like easy.
Yeah.
And I've just been working on mindset, like playing golf, playing, targets and stuff like that. And so I want to ditch and leave behind playing golf mechanically
Mm, I like that.
and playing golf swing. That's fun and all, and I love it. And I will always be a student
And
of
there's a
the
time and place.
swing
You
mechanics.
don't have
And
to.
yeah, there's a time and place when you
It's
practice.
not on the
You
golf
care about
course.
that stuff when you practice, but
Yeah.
not on the course.
Or if it is on the golf course, if like you are going there with specifically the intent of like, I'm doing
Practice.
this very specific practice thing on the golf course, and like I'm going to be dropping 2 or 3 balls. I'm not like there's no score, there's no this,
Yes.
that, and the other. It's just like I'm changing the environment of my practice session to try to get it a little closer to the real thing,
Yeah.
more for the
When
mental approach than anything.
Yeah, but when it's time to play, toss it.
Right.
Toss it.
Takes a lot of that's a skill. I've come to learn this year. That as much as like having a good short game or being able to hit the ball far or whatever,
Mhm.
like being able to turn off the analytics, turn off the mechanical thoughts, and like stay focused on a target, stay within yourself emotionally. Like that is a skill, and I think that's what like
Yeah,
I'm learning separates like good players, which I would classify myself as a good player, and like great players and elite players.
sure.
And that's
Yeah.
where I want to transcend good. I want to be great.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a good one.
Cool.
Great one,
What about
actually.
you? What are
Um,
you leaving behind in 2020?
I'm leaving behind getting upset.
Uh-huh.
Um, like and I mean like truly like upset, like not
Yeah.
it's not frustration. Like it's okay to be frustrated. Frustrated, it's fine. But like um like upset, like where I allow the negative emotions to carry over, and I feel like I like a visceral kind of like almost physical sensation of like being upset.
Mhm.
Like there's legitimately zero reason to be upset by golf. You can be frustrated, you can be disappointed. Those are appropriate emotions, especially if you take things seriously and you work hard and you like have goals and you don't reach those, which is with golf, it's tough because like you're almost always not going to reach your goals, or play to your potential. So but like to be upset is just there's no place for it. So
It's not
um,
cool.
yeah, it's just not, and it's not helpful. It's like
No.
it doesn't it doesn't make anything feel better. It just
No.
prolongs the
No.
things
Makes it
feeling
feel
worse.
worse.
Yeah. So it's just like that. That's that masochistic, like self-loathing thing that I got to work through. But yeah, being upset, I will be leaving that behind in 2024. I will not be upset on the about golf in any way. Like I will leave it at like being like, dang, like I really wish it would have gone a different way, but like it didn't. So I'll just have to try it again.
Good.
Um,
Cool.
Bonus one, My Golf Spy. I'm so over them,
Oh,
dude.
no. Yeah.
Oh my God. They're
They're
so
canceled. They're canceled.
blatantly bought. It's like,
They're canceled.
it's not
But
even,
they would so, like, vehemently argue that they're not, which is
I,
it's
I
a
just
bad
want to
look.
justify their most recent post. Then I want you to justify that to me, their most recent post. And you know what? I'm going to jump into it.
Dig
You,
in.
this idea that like so low torque, and I went and hung out with Sam at lab, and I do think that like sure, for some people it's important, or it's a different thing. It's different. It kind of changes up the mindset. It is a different feel, sure.
Absolutely.
The but to say that all other putters are obsolete because of this low torque, no torque, lie angle balance, whatever,
Yeah.
is preposterous. It is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. The putting stroke is so low force. It is so low speed. It truly it cannot matter that much
Yeah.
at this ball speeds that we're talking about.
Yeah.
It can't. And the other thing is, if that were true, if it was like, oh, all other putters are obsolete because of this new technology, then all other golf clubs are obsolete. Throw away your irons,
Yep.
throw away your wedges,
They all have
don't ever
torque.
hit a driver again,
Mhm.
because those clubs are obsolete because those have torque.
Yep.
So
Here's what I'll say too, like, because I wholeheartedly agree, and I have sort of a sequence of like Instagram posts, reels, and stuff that I've been making that I've been working towards, kind of basically summarizing the same thing. Like, again, no shade on Lab, because I do think that they make some people incredible putters, as evidenced by how popular they are on the tour and how many wins they got so quickly. Some people really benefit from that, but to say that everybody will benefit from it because torque is the enemy is ludicrous. Um, I think it's a like I made a post about it, but I said, like, the people who highlighted the presence of torque in putters are the people who make torqueless putters. So of course they're going to say, like, hey, look at this problem and look how we solve this problem. That's like marketing 10, just like
yeah,
01. That's not even,
right, yeah,
you know. So I think that, just let's just be honest. Like, it's great. It helps people become better putters. Not everybody. Some people benefit from lots of torque. And also, to your point, like, the revealer thing is all cool and then you can show your putter spin all around and blah blah blah. If you just put one finger on the grip of that putter, or maybe two, you
so
can
little
stop
force,
it from
yeah,
spinning around
so little
in this
force is required,
quote in the revealer. So, like,
almost
okay,
imperceptible.
the torque is there, but you can stop it with, like, I don't even know how many newtons, but it's a minuscule amount of pressure, and it's less than what it would exist to just, like, hold the putter
Yeah,
by the grip. So, come on, come on. So my one of the things I've been working towards is, like, okay, that rate of closure thing that I had posted about how, like, there's been no correlation between, like, the rate of closure in like, elite players at high speeds. We're talking 110 plus miles an hour, and somehow they're able to still manage greater or just any measurable amount of rate of closure at that speed and not lose accuracy in, like, a macro scale. How much more so less important than is it at the putter with something that is moving so much slower and you have so much more control over because it's moving slower? And, like, it's like, okay, like, face rate of closure, open and close in putting probably isn't really that important either.
no, and I think, like, the other big thing that people forget about, or, like, don't understand, maybe it's it's this, like, they talk of rate of closure as if, like, the ball is on the putter face for any more than, like, a millisecond. Like,
Yeah.
the ball is off the face of the putter before you've you've changed the face angle even 1/10 of a degree.
Yeah.
It's it's more about, like, where was the putter face pointing when it hit the ball, not like, oh, it's hits the ball and then you keep turning it and it's changing the direction. It's like, no, no,
Yeah.
dude, once you've made contact, it's over.
Yeah.
So it's like this, this idea that, like, oh, you're rolling it over, you're snap hooking. It's like, no, 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 you're just coming into the ball closed.
Or just the argument that, like, "Oh, it takes so much timing to do this then." Okay, I think it's harder to try and okay, for instance, let's talk about, like, if you pick up a pencil and you point at something across the room with that pencil and you try and hold it steadily exactly on that thing, and then, like, move, your body around, but try and keep it steady,
Yeah.
versus if you were to gently sweep in an arc, even
Mhm.
like a putting stroke, and know that you're going to guide it across that point. Like, I feel like the positive framework endeavor of, like, I'm going to try and open, or I'm going to try and impart motion open and close versus I'm trying to avoid and not allow motion to happen. It's always like with your brain, with your body, trying to do something is always better and more achievable than trying
They're
to
trying to
not
not.
do
Yeah.
something,
Yeah.
right?
Hitting at
And so
something rather than not trying to hit
right.
something. Yeah.
So this is my contention then with putting, of people like, well, you're trying to not let that face open or close it. No, you probably actually have more control if you try and open it some and try and close it some. And
Let it swing on its natural arc, because at the end of the day, like the way that you set up, regardless of what putter you're using, the way that you set up, it creates an arc, just like the golf swing. You're set up almost identical. Maybe you're standing up a little bit taller. Everything's a little bit closer, but at the end of the day, if you were to take that putter head back far enough, it is on an arc because you are at an angle. You are not standing directly over you're not hovering directly over the ball, which would allow you to have this true, like, back to, square to square pendulum stroke. You cannot do that.
right.
So, like,
Unless you're well, no, actually, no, legally within the rules of golf, you can't have equipment that's that
no,
upright.
no,
So no,
the
you can't do that.
15, you can't,
I was gonna
it's,
say unless you're Bryson, but even him, it's
yeah,
like
yeah. I'm a little surprised that no one tried to make a stink about that. But yeah, like
yeah,
you can't have a 90-degree putter shaft. So therefore, like, it is impossible to have a true square to square. There is some, and maybe with Bryson, it's like literally a 3-degree arc. It's not a 12-degree arc like everyone else,
sure.
or 20, upwards of 24, like Ben Crenshaw. But like, it's an arc. Let things
Yeah.
swing freely. Think about the target. Think about the target. Think about everything other than your mechanics. And I think that's like, and again, this is not any shade at Lab. This is not any shade at Sam or their team at all, because I don't believe that they've made claims that other putters are totally obsolete.
No.
Do they,
I think other people
do they,
state it on their behalf. Like other
yeah,
people who lab putters have helped will then obviously say like, "These are the best thing in the world. Everything else sucks." Like that's natural.
that's
Sure.
fine. That's
And
fine.
those people are
But
wrong.
for a self-proclaimed unbiased golf media outlet to come out and say that putters that have been winning majors for 200 fucking years are obsolete now in the
Yeah.
year of our Lord 2024. No, sorry,
Yeah.
dude. Like,
And go look
you
up
lost all credibility.
even like I posted this, and I have 0 followers on Instagram, so it doesn't really matter that I posted it, but even I noticed like a couple days later, it was posted again by like GolfWorks or something. Lab putters.
Or
They're
any
great.
or
Or
any
any
or
tour.
anyone.
There's so many of them now, but
Everyone figured it out, by the way.
yeah.
First of all,
Well,
like,
that's
everyone
what I
figured
was
it out.
that's what I was gonna say is, yeah, you can't say that they're obsolete. That's ridiculous. And what I was saying was what I had posted plus I think what Golf WRX had posted was their article highlighting the top 10 strokes gain in putting guys on tour. How many of them use lab? None of them. How many of them use a torqueless putter? None of them. Some of them even have like 6 o'clock toe hang or tons of lead weight or lead tape underneath to like probably increase the more weight is going to equal more torque around the axis of the center. Like it's ridiculous. So you can't say that the best putters in the world
Are obsolete.
all use obsolete like terrible putters.
Yeah, because if that were true, if that were substantiated, every single PGA, those dudes are playing for their lives. Every Corn Ferry Tour guy, every PGA Tour player guy would be would yesterday. They would have been
Yeah.
the
Oh,
ones.
oh yeah. Oh yeah. And again, a lot of them do because it's great for them. That's awesome. But
But just
this
be
also this also
it's not gonna cure you though. Like,
well,
it's just not like,
yeah. I mean, this
go.
also feeds into some of my putting beliefs about like take the hands out of the stroke. And, that's a whole we could get into more of that, but we can move on as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So um
All right,
we're
so that's
leaving
what
behind my golf spot.
you're leaving behind my golf spy, and just like, I want to say, like, these unilateral,
Oh, sure. Yeah.
like, claims of this is the best and this isn't the best. It's like, dude, it's so subjective. You can figure it out, and that's like, I'll go back to one thing. Like, go watch. So, NLU did a video with Scotty Scheffler and Jordan Spieth where they gave them all of the Titleist golf balls that they make. Left dash,
Yeah.
And within 10 shots, those dudes were replicating the same spin numbers, same trajectories, same everything with each one of those different balls. Are we world-class athletes like that? Are we going to be able to recreate that? Probably not. But to like whatever our scaled down version of that is, like we can adapt. That's the athleticism of golf. It's like you can adapt. That's
Sure.
what you're supposed to do. Like
Yeah.
not all greens are the same speed. Not all, there's grain. There's like not all lies are the same. Not all conditions are the same. That is the game of golf, is the variability. Like anyone trying to claim that like you can take that variability out, and that even gets into like the golf swing, like, oh, you got rotational and you don't, like don't use your hands at all. Yeah, like there's that's kind of a can of worms, but like there's variability. There's it's all subjective. It's like figure out what works for you, and that might be a torqueless putter. It could be, or low torque putter for sure, but
Sure.
it's
Or
not.
lie angle
It's not
balance, because
the
that's
case.
apparently technically different.
Yeah. That is not necessarily the case for everyone. So to say anything otherwise is just disingenuous. It's like there's just no integrity there, and that bums me out.
It's just silly.
It's just
don't be
silly.
silly.
So to finish it off, that's what we're leaving behind. What are we taking with us into 2023?
That's right.
New year, new you. What are we doing?
I would love to bring all of the swing change work that I've been implementing over this year. It's to the point where I feel like the videos, or not feel like, I know the videos I take of my swing on the course, things look different.
Yeah.
Which, talk to any instructor, that's hard to do. And it's taken a lot of work, and I definitely think it's, showing, not just in how it looks, but in how I play and how I'm striking the ball. So I definitely want to bring that with me. Also, basically the flip side of what I'm leaving behind in 2024 of not playing golf swing, I'm playing quote unquote golf, or like uh, target focused, adaptable, just the game of golf. I'd like to take what I've learned, and because I definitely know I obviously have a whole lot more to learn in that realm. I definitely want to take that with me and keep going.
I like that. For me, I want to take like enthusiasm and pride around short game and putting with me into 2025. Like I want to be jazzed to go practice short game. I want to be excited to have like a chip shot, like, and feel like I got a chance to chip it in, or like I want to get up to a green and be excited about like having a shot to make, having a chance at rolling a putt in. So like, and then, everything that goes along with that is like, again, being like excited about doing the work. Because I think that's gonna, if I can just build around that foundation, that just means that like the swing stuff, the bigger stuff, will pay dividends much quicker than they would if I'm like still just basically rely like, oh, I'll shoot a good score if I hit 16 greens. If I don't hit 16 greens, like yeah, so it's gonna pay dividends like earlier. So anyway, so that I want to take with me. Second, I want hit and giggles, just like fun rounds, man. I want basically like anything outside of a tournament round. I just want it to be like a fun round, unless I mean, I want to sprinkle in some like practice like rounds here and there, but like I want at least 50% of my rounds to just be like, yeah, I mean, we can keep score and stuff, but like at the end of the day, it's just like I'll do silly, goofy things. Like and so I mean, there's ways I can kind of like kind of cap my expectations. It's like, well, if you only bring a persimmon driver, like, can you really expect to do, X, Y, Z? So, I just, just going to do those things. Like, I'm probably going to play on Tuesday, and I'm just like, well, I'm just going to only bring my persimmon driver and then my irons, and just figure it out. It's like,
that's good too, though. Like that's like, it's fun, but it also is like, it's good to force yourself into those situations where you're hitting shots that you wouldn't normally have to hit, or like you're trying to do something, more creative.
That's exercising the brain.
Yeah.
And the brain's pretty important in golf.
And it's fun.
And it's fun. And it's supposed to be fun. We're having fun.
We're having fun.
We're having fun. Stop crying. So yeah, I want to hit and giggles. I want to bring with me into 2025. I really don't feel like I did that at much of it at all this year. So
No, we didn't.
and then finally, I want to. you talked about Mini Driver and the gifts from Santa. I talked about I want to bring Mini Driver in with me to 2025. Like I think year of Mini Driver. Yeah, I think that's gonna be big time, man. So, yeah, that's the holiday especial.
Oh, I have one more thing.
Oh,
I want to bring this podcast into 2025.
oh,
Oh,
that's good.
love heart. This is my daughter. She's always love hearts. Love hearts.
Yeah, I love
Green.
that. Yeah, I was thinking, just thinking out loud here. I wanted like one of our next episodes should be like, let's just like, word diarrhea of like all of, and then it's like a totally negative connotation. That's not what I was going after, but it's like kind of like a brainstorm sesh. Like
Oh, sure.
we can just post it on, like, hey, this is an episode of just like us talking about like, hey, what do we want? What are some cool things we want to do? What we'd like to be able to do? What's like our like pie in the sky dream? So maybe we'll do that. I think that would be fun for just people to listen to. Like we'll like just here's how the sausage is made. And
Ew.
God, what am I doing? We should probably stop.
Seen
We should
sausage
probably
made?
close this one out. Yeah, I've lost the plot. Hey everyone, thanks for listening along. Thank you for if you've made it this far, like 42 episodes in, you're a real one, so we appreciate you. You can find us on social medias at Mid-Am Podcast on Instagram. You can find me at Fade and Fairway. You can find Nathan at Nathan.Firmasu and Thistle Leather Goods. I am going to be throwing up some merch. Yeah, so t-shirts, tote bag, long sleeve shirt, and a crew neck to start with the Mid-Am logo. Might even throw up Backspasm Gate up
Oh
on there
yes.
too.
Oh yes.
There
Blue
might be two
game.
versions of that.
Spasm game.
Yeah, we're gonna have Spasm Game Standard and then Spasm Game GTA Wasted.
Yeah.
And you can take your pick. It's all print on demand too, so it's like all sizes available. It'll be bunch different colors, and everything kind of like prints and ships to you within like a week. So, and it's all pretty good price, and it's like it's a good t-shirt. It's like Gildan, like real good t-shirts. So, be sure to check that out. I'll put the link in the bio. Stay tuned for potential opportunities to win some cool stuff and donate to Oregon Junior Golf on our behalf as part of our fundraising goal for this year, because the year ain't over. We're getting close, but we still got time. And technically, fiscal year, we could probably extend this thing out to April 15th if we want to go by tax filing deadlines. And then we could, we could file for an extension, and we could take that out to October. I mean, God.
Yeah, sure. We have no reason to do that.
A lot of Hollywood accounting.
Not even like a real entity.
Yeah. So, so be on the lookout for that. And again, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.